So we will start now. In this lecture, we will see some theory about damped oscillations, and then we will go for multiple choice questions. So in next lecture, we will see some multiple choice questions from IIT JAM examinations and for IIT JAM examinations. And these are useful for other competitive examinations also. So already we have seen undamped oscillations. We have seen undamped oscillations. In undamped oscillations, force is directly proportional to displacement and opposite to displacement. So we get here equation of motion, that is d2x by dt square. This is differential equation, plus omega square x is equal to 0. Where omega is equal to under root k by m, and its solution is, that is equation of motion, a sin omega t plus phi, where omega, it is this one. Period of oscillation, that is 2 pi upon omega, we get, that is 2 pi under root m by k, and frequency of oscillations, that is 1 upon t. This is frequency. So this comes out to be 1 upon 2 pi under root k by m, where k is force constant. And here we have potential energy, V is equal to 1/2 kx square, or it is equal to 1/2 m omega square x square. Then kinetic energy K, capital K, will be equal to 1/2 m v square. V is velocity, V is dx by dt. It is either a omega cos omega t plus phi, or we can write this as omega under root a square minus x square. So we get here 1/2 m omega square in bracket a square minus x square. So if we take total energy E, that is kinetic energy plus potential energy, and this comes out to be 1/2 m omega square a square. This is E. E is proportional to square of amplitude, and it is constant. So when oscillator is undamped oscillator, and when it's set into oscillations with amplitude A, its amplitude remains constant and energy remains constant. And that oscillations are called undamped oscillations. Then what are damped oscillations? Suppose we take spring mass system, and we have immersed this mass, spring mass, in a suppose liquid. So what happens here? This is equilibrium position. This one is equilibrium position. And suppose, so it is in resistive medium. Suppose we extend this from equilibrium position and release. Then what will happen? Due to medium, force will act on the body or on the oscillator. That force is called damping force. So there are two forces now. First force, that is F1 is equal to minus Kx. This force, it is called restoring force. Restoring force. Now this force, it is responsible for oscillations. It is directly proportional to displacement and opposite in direction. Minus sign gives you opposite in direction, opposite to displacement. Now there is another force. This force, it is called damping force. And this force, it is due to medium in which oscillator is oscillating. Now see here, this damping force, it is proportional to velocity. That's why I have written here F2 is equal to minus R dx by dt. R is constant of proportionality. Minus sign means it opposes the motion. Opposes the motion. So it opposes the motion of the oscillator. So this medium opposes the oscillation, and this force is directly proportional to velocity. So more is the velocity, more is the opposition due to medium. R is proportionality constant, and this is called damping coefficient. R is called damping coefficient. So if we see magnitude F2 upon dx by dt, that is R. So unit of R is what? R I can write F2 upon dx by dt. So Newton per meter per second, or it is Newton second per meter. So this is unit of R. So now two forces are acting. One is restoring force that is responsible for the oscillations, and another is damping force that opposes the oscillations. So here two forces. So what is net force? F is equal to F1 plus F2. That is net force. And we know net force acting on the body, and due to that body will move. So according to Newton's second law, force is mass into acceleration. So this F I have written minus kx minus r dx by dt, and here mass into acceleration. So we can write here m d2x by dt square. X is displacement from the equilibrium position. So here this mass into acceleration is equal to minus kx minus r dx by dt. So if we write this, we will get m d2x by dt square plus r dx by dt plus kx is equal to 0. This is differential equation for damped oscillations. Now see here, this is second order linear and homogeneous differential equation. Now here I will write this as this is second order linear homogeneous differential equation. So we can write divide throughout by m. So we will get here d2x by dt square plus r by m into dx by dt plus k by m, x is equal to 0. Now see here, k force constant of the spring, m is mass of the oscillator, that is constant. So I can write here d2x by dt square plus 2 gamma dx by dt plus omega 0 square, where omega 0 square is k by m and 2 gamma is equal to r upon m. So gamma it is measure of damping, while omega 0 it is measure of restoring. Now so 2 gamma it is, we have taken r upon m, and omega 0 it is root of k by m. So here we have used 2 gamma, and here we have used omega 0 square. So we get this differential equation. This is second order linear homogeneous differential equation. We can solve it. So we can solve by assuming some solution, x is equal to a e raised to minus alpha t, and we get solution. So what happens here? This medium opposes the motion. Due to that, we get this differential equation, and if we solve it, we get this solution. So this is differential equation. This is differential equation. d2x by dt square plus 2 gamma dx by dt plus omega square x is equal to 0, where 2 gamma is equal to r upon m. R is damping coefficient. So if we use x is equal to a e raised to minus alpha t in this one and solve, we will get solution like this: x is equal to a1 e raised to minus gamma t plus under root r square minus omega square multiplied by t, whole this square root multiplied by t, a2 e raised to minus gamma t minus in square root gamma square minus omega square, and this square root is multiplied by t. So this is solution. So this is equation of motion for damped oscillator. Now here this gamma square, it is measure of damping, force, while omega 0, it is measure of restoring force. So restoring force tries to maintain oscillations while damping force opposes the oscillations. So here damping, so we have three possible cases. First case, damping force greater than restoring force. Damping force greater than restoring force. That motion, that case is called over-damped case. Over-damped case means if the damping coefficient is large, means gamma square, it is greater than omega 0 square, or you can write gamma, it is greater than omega. Now gamma square we know, gamma is r upon 2m, so r square upon 4m square, that is gamma square. Gamma is r upon 2m. It is greater than omega 0 square, that is k by m. So what happens in this case? So if we see this one, this square root. Now this square root is positive term because gamma is greater than omega 0. So minus gamma t plus this term, it is negative. Total is negative. This total is negative. This total is negative. So we will observe this decreases exponentially. This decreases exponentially. So what happens in this case? So I have taken here example, spring mass system. It is immersed in a liquid and viscous liquid. Immersed in a viscous liquid. And this is equilibrium position. Now if we extend this in the viscous medium, medium opposes the motion. So what happens here, if we extend this here and release, what will happen? Due to restoring force which is acting towards equilibrium position, oscillator will try to go towards equilibrium position, while damping force, it opposes its motion and it is proportional to velocity. We know this. So what happens due to this? Here r square upon 4m square, it is greater than k by m, or gamma is greater than omega 0. This is called over damped case. So what happens if we extend and release? Oscillator will move towards equilibrium position. And finally, it will come at rest at the equilibrium position. So after some time t and after very long time t, oscillator will come at equilibrium position. It will not cross the equilibrium position. So oscillations are not possible. Oscillations are not possible here. Oscillations are not possible here. So what happens here? If we plot graph of x versus t, displacement of equilibrium position with t, we have seen here. So with time x will go on decreasing and finally it will become 0. It will become 0. So what happens? If we plot graph, you will get graph like this. And this motion is called over damped motion. This motion is called over damped motion. Now here, so after very long time, oscillator will come at equilibrium position. This is over damped motion. Now we'll take second case, critically damped motion. Means here gamma equal to omega 0. Actually we take here gamma is approximately equal to omega 0. Because this is second order differential equation, so we must get two independent solutions. So this is possible when gamma is approximately equal to omega 0, means gamma square minus omega 0 square root of this is equal to some r, where r is very small, very small. So what happens in this case? So again this one is positive, this one is also positive, square root of r square minus omega 0 square is positive, and this gamma square minus omega 0 square root of that is positive. So you can write this as x is equal to a1 e raised to minus gamma t plus rt plus a2 e raised to minus gamma t minus rt. And if we solve, you will get x is equal to some a plus b t into e raised to minus gamma t, like this solution. So here what happens? Here again, suppose we take equilibrium position, and here damping is less. Damping is less, and damping force is equal to restoring force. So what happens? If we extend this from equilibrium position to somewhere here, and if we release it, so within short interval of time it comes to its equilibrium position without oscillations. It will not cross equilibrium positions. So in this case also oscillations are not possible. Oscillations are not possible. Means what happens here? If we extend and release. So if we extend and release, with time its x will go on decreasing, but within short interval of time it comes at rest at the equilibrium position. It will not cross the equilibrium position. So oscillations are not possible here. So if we plot graph of x, displacement versus time, you will get this. You will get this. In over damped case we have seen it takes longer time, very large time to come at rest. So this is for over damped, and this is for critically damped. This is critically damped case. This is critically damped case. So here also in over damped oscillations are not possible. In critically damped oscillations are not possible. Now we'll go to third case. Under damped or damped oscillatory. We know d2x by dt square plus 2 gamma dx by dt plus omega 0 square x is equal to 0, where x is equal to a1 e raised to minus gamma t plus under root gamma square minus omega 0 square, that square root is multiplied by t, plus a2 e raised to minus gamma t minus in bracket gamma square minus omega 0 square, that square root is multiplied by t. Now here in under damped case, we have seen over damped. Damping force is greater than restoring force. Critically damped, damping force is equal to restoring force. Now third case, possible case is what? If the damping coefficient is small and damping force is less than restoring force. So we'll take here gamma is less than omega 0, or you can say gamma square, it is less than omega 0 square. Gamma, that is r square upon 4m square, it is less than k by m. So what happens here? Since gamma square is less than omega square, here gamma square minus omega 0 square, that is negative 1. That is negative 1. So if we can write square root of gamma square minus omega square, it is equal to, we can write square root of minus omega 0 square minus gamma square. Now this one is positive. This one is positive. So we can write this as root of minus 1 into root of omega 0 square minus gamma square. So let us call this as P, and root of minus 1 is I. So here I root of omega 0 square minus gamma square, it is IP, where P is equal to what? Where P is equal to square root of omega 0 square minus gamma square. Omega 0 square minus gamma square. Now if we use this one here, so you'll get x is equal to a1 e raised to minus gamma t plus ipt plus a2 e raised to minus gamma t minus ipt. Now see here, e raised to minus gamma t is constant. So I can take out. So a1 e raised to ipt plus a2 e raised to minus ipt. And we know equation. What is equation? E raised to I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, and e raised to minus I theta, here we will get minus sign. And if we use that and we arrange the terms, we get x is equal to a e raised to minus gamma t sin pt plus theta. This is solution. So what happens in this case? Since here we have sine here, sine term here, means oscillations are possible. So if we write this as x is equal to a sine pt plus theta. So a is amplitude. A is amplitude. And if we compare here, a is not constant with time, but it changes with time. And p is called angular frequency of oscillations. So what happens here? Suppose we take here. I have taken spring mass system here. And this one is medium. Suppose air medium. Air medium. And if we extend this, what will happen here? So here this one is equilibrium position. And we have extended this and released due to spring or due to restoring force. Oscillator will try to go towards equilibrium position because force will act towards equilibrium position, and medium will oppose the motion. And we know that that is called damping force, and it is proportional to velocity. But here damping force is less than restoring force. So what will happen when we release this? So see here, oscillator, it is moving about equilibrium position. But what happens? Amplitude goes on decreasing, and finally oscillator will come at rest. So see again. So here when we release, so it oscillates about equilibrium position, but amplitude goes on decreasing, and finally it will come at rest. So if we plot graph of x versus t, x versus t. So here you will get graph like this. And suppose we measure time from this to this, that is period of oscillation, t, period of oscillation. Now here what happens? Amplitude of oscillations decreases, and if we see this decrease, this actually peak, this decrease, this one will be equal to a e raised to minus gamma t, or a e raised to minus rt upon 2m, because gamma is r upon 2m. So here it is initial amplitude a, means here I will erase all these. erase all. So if we see here x versus t graph, here amplitude decreases. It decreases exponentially. So here amplitude is this one, a e raised to minus gamma t, or a e raised to minus rt upon 2m. So amplitude decreases exponentially. Decreases exponentially. So here this one is initial amplitude at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0. Now here if we measure this time for one cycle, that is called periodic time. That is called periodic time. Now see here, if we take this equation, I can write this as a sine pt plus theta, where p we know it is square root of omega 0 square minus gamma square. So this p, it is called angular frequency of damped oscillations. So I can write p is equal to square root of k by m minus gamma square, that is r square upon 4m square. Now p, so I can write here p is equal to square root of omega 0 square minus r square upon 4m square. Now p is less than omega 0. So angular frequency of damped oscillations, it is less than the frequency of undamped oscillations. Now period we know, in undamped oscillations we take period is t is equal to 2 pi upon omega 0. Let us call this as t0. And in damped oscillations t is equal to 2 pi upon angular frequency, that is p. Now since p is less than omega 0, we get t greater than t0, because relations are inverse relations. So decrease in frequency and increase in period of oscillation, that is characteristic of damped oscillations. So amplitude decreases with time exponentially. There is decrease in angular frequency and increase in period of oscillation. These are some characteristics of damped oscillations. Now we'll go to logarithmic decrement. What is logarithmic decrement? So we have seen here x versus t graph for damped oscillations. Here amplitude decreases exponentially. So you can write this as a e raised to minus gamma t, or a e raised to minus rt upon 2m. So suppose at some time t amplitude is a1. So I can write here a1 is equal to a e raised to minus gamma t. What is a2? Here amplitude. Now this is half the period. So I can write a2 is equal to a e raised to minus gamma t plus t by 2, where t is period of oscillation. Then you can take here a3. So we are taking successive alternate amplitudes. So we will get a3. a3 is equal to a e raised to minus gamma t plus t. Total is t here. So total here it is t from capital T, from this. Then again t by 2. So a4 is equal to a e raised to minus gamma small t plus t by 2. So here 3t by 2, like this. So these are amplitudes after half periods. So we have taken successive amplitudes. And if we take a1 upon a2, so a1 upon a2, so just take ratio of these two. Then a2 upon a3, then you will get a3 upon a4, and so on, ratio of successive amplitudes. So if you calculate this, you will get e raised to gamma t by 2. Gamma t by 2. Just take this one. If we take ratio, this one will get cancelled. This one will go up. So minus gamma t plus t by gamma t by 2. And if we find this, you will get this one. So here see, a1 upon a2 means this a1 upon this a2. Then this a2 upon this a3. Then a3 upon a4. A4 upon a5. A5 upon a6 and so on. It is e raised to gamma t by 2. And if we take natural logarithm ln a1 upon a2 will be equal to ln a2 upon a3 will be equal to ln a3 upon a4 and so on. You can go up to what? Ln an minus 1 upon an. So natural logarithm of ratio of successive amplitudes. So take logarithm of this, you will get gamma t by 2. And this one we will call as lambda or logarithmic decrement. So this lambda is logarithmic decrement. Logarithmic decrement. Now this lambda is equal to now gamma t by 2. Gamma is r upon 2m. So you will get rt upon 4m. So lambda, that is logarithmic decrement, depends on period, mass and damping coefficient. When damping coefficient is large, logarithmic decrement is large. Logarithmic decrement is large and so on. This is about logarithmic decrement. Now we'll go to energy equation of damped harmonic oscillator. So we know x is equal to what? A e raised to minus gamma t sine pt plus theta, where p is equal to square root of omega 0 square minus gamma square. So you can find velocity. Velocity is this dx by dt. So you can find this. Then we can have potential energy capital E, that is 1/2 kx square, or and you can use this x here. Kinetic energy capital K is equal to 1/2 mv square, and then you will have total energy, that is K plus V. In undamped oscillations, we know E is equal to 1/2 m omega square a square, that is constant. So what happens here? Since x changes with time, velocity will also, means amplitude decreases with time. Velocity, amplitude will also decrease with time. Potential energy and kinetic energy, they will also change. So this energy will also change. So you can find average rate of change of energy over one oscillation. And here if we find this, it comes out to be E bar is equal to 1/2 m omega square a square e raised to minus 2 gamma t, or 1/2 m omega square a square e raised to minus rt upon m. So we can write here E bar is equal to E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma t, or E0 e raised to minus rt upon m, where gamma is r upon 2m. So what is E0? E0, initial energy. Initial energy means at starting point at t is equal to 0. And we will observe that energy decreases exponentially. So if we plot graph of energy versus time, So at t is equal to 0, it is E0 and it decreases exponentially. It decreases exponentially. So energy of the oscillator is decreases, means what? Energy of the oscillator is used to overcome the external resistive force due to medium. That's why energy of the oscillator decreases with time. Decreases with time. So here E bar is equal to E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma t, or E0 e raised to minus RT upon M. Now we'll see relaxation time. What is relaxation time? Now it is the time taken for the total energy to decay to 1/8 of its initial energy E0. That is called relaxation time. So we know E bar is equal to E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma t. So at t is equal to 0, E bar will be equal to E0. And suppose at t is equal to some tau, energy E bar becomes 1/8 of E0. 1/8 of E0. And this tau is called relaxation time. It is called relaxation time. So we have to find what is relaxation time. So here we will take t is equal to tau. So E bar is equal to E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma t. In place of t, I will take here tau. So here I will take tau time. But what is E bar here at t is equal to tau? That is E0 upon E. So I can write E0 upon E is equal to E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma multiplied by tau. So E0 will get cancelled. So you will get 1 upon E is equal to e raised to minus 2 gamma tau, or e raised to minus 1 is equal to e raised to minus 2 gamma tau. So what happens if we compare this? You will get 2 gamma tau will be equal to 1. So what is tau? Relaxation time, that is 1 upon 2 gamma. So tau I can write 1. Now gamma is what? R upon 2m. So 2 gamma is R by m. So we will get what? M upon R. 2 gamma. 1 upon 2 gamma. That is m upon R. So this is relaxation time, in which energy decay to 1/8 of its initial energy E0. This is decay time. Sorry, relaxation time. Now we will define quality factor. What is quality factor? Now we know amplitude of oscillator decreases with time. So energy decreases with time, and E bar, that is average energy stored in the oscillator in one cycle. See here, over one cycle also energy decreases. So we take average energy over one cycle. So quality factor, it is simply 2 pi times energy stored, average energy stored upon dissipation of energy in one oscillation. In one oscillation. This is quality factor, and it is related to efficiency of the oscillator. So I can write Q is equal to what? 2 pi times E bar upon d bar by dt multiplied by t. Now what is d bar by dt? dE bar by dt, it is rate of change of energy, and with minus sign means here rate of decrease in energy. So that is called rate of dissipation of energy against external damping force or against the external resistive medium. Now here dissipation of energy in one oscillation. Now this is rate of dissipation, means decrease in energy per unit time. So what is change in energy in one oscillation? So here from this to this we have one oscillation. Time required for this one oscillation, it is T, and here what? This is joules per second, this one. Decrease in energy per second into time. That gives you energy. So what happens here? Minus T into dE bar by dt. It gives dissipation of energy. In time T. And time T is what? Periodic time. Time required for one oscillation. So this gives you dissipation of energy in one oscillation. And we know E is what? E is equal to, we know E is equal to, E bar is equal to E0 e raised to minus gamma T. We have seen already. E raised to minus actually 2 gamma T. So we have E bar is equal to E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma T, and you can find dE bar by dt. So you will get here minus 2 gamma E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma T. Then we will take minus sign here. So minus T into dE bar by dt. So we will get here 2 gamma into T E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma T, and take ratio. So Q is equal to what? 2 pi times ratio. E bar is E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma T upon 2 gamma T E0 e raised to minus 2 gamma T. So these two will cancel. So you will get this as 2 pi upon 2 gamma T. Now I can write 2 pi upon T. It is omega. So omega 0. So it is 2 gamma. 2 gamma. And we know gamma is R upon 2m. So omega 0 m upon R. So this is quality factor. M omega 0 upon R, or omega 0 upon 2 gamma. Now if we see Q is inversely proportional to R. So if damping is more, quality factor is less. If damping is less, quality factor is more. So this is about quality factor. Now we'll see one or two multiple choice questions. The equation of critically damped motion is given in the form phi u into d2x by dt square. So here it must be d2x by dt square plus r dx by dt plus 20x is equal to 0. What will be the value of r? So here critically damped motion. Critically damped motion. So here in general we know m d2x by dt square plus r into dx by dt plus kx is equal to 0. We know this is differential equation. So you can write this as d2x by dt square plus r upon m dx by dt plus k by m into x is equal to 0 or d2x by dt square plus 2 gamma dx by dt plus omega 0 square x is equal to 0. So here r upon m, that is 2 gamma, omega 0 square, that is k by m, and its solution is what? X is equal to a1 e raised to minus gamma t plus square root of gamma square minus omega square. This whole is square root is multiplied by t plus a2 e raised to minus gamma t minus in square root gamma square minus omega 0 square multiplied by t. And we have three cases. Gamma square is greater than omega 0 square, over damped. Gamma square is equal to omega 0 square, critically damped, and gamma square less than omega 0 square. So here it is critically damped. And here this is under damped or damped oscillator. So this one means here critically damped. Critically damped means gamma square is equal to omega 0 square. So what is value of damping coefficient R? So we know gamma square is R square upon 4m square. Omega 0 square, that is k by m. So we get here R square is equal to, let us take this 4m square here. So 4m square upon m, that is 4mk. So 4. Now mass m, here it is 5. So 5 into k. K here it is this 20. So it is 20. So here 5 into 20, that is 100 into 4, that is 400. So what is R? We get R is equal to square root of that, 20, and we know its unit is Newton per meter per second. So this one. So if we see this one, you will get 20 units. This is in SI unit. If you have CGS unit, it is dyne per centimeter per second. So this is about critically damped motion. Now we'll go to next one. The frequency of damped oscillator of mass 3 gram is 5 Hz. If the coefficient of damping is 0.314 dyne per centimeter per second, then quality factor is, we know quality factor Q is equal to m omega 0 upon R. Now damping coefficient is given, mass is given, and frequency is given. So what happens here? What is omega 0? Omega 0, it is 2 pi nu 0. Nu is frequency. So omega 0, it is 2 pi into 5. So it is 10 pi. 10 pi. So m is 3 into omega 0 is 10 pi divided by 0.314 because R is 0.314. So if we find this, you can write this as 3 into 10 into 3.14 divided by 0.314. So you can take this as 3 into 10 into 3.14 divided by 3.14 into 10 raised to minus 1. Now this one will get cancelled. So this is 3 into 10 upon 10 raised to minus 1. Means 3 into 10 into 10. So 100 into 3, that is 300. And this comes out to be quality factor. and now quality factor is unitless. Quality factor is unitless. So this is about damped oscillations, and we have seen two multiple choice questions. In next lecture we will see more multiple choice questions on this one. Okay, is it clear to you? कळलं का तुम्हाला? हा,
Yes, sir.
काही प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर सांगा मला. पहा अशा टाईपचे प्रश्न IIT जामला खूप विचारतात डॅम्प्ड ऑसिलेशन्स वर. ओके, आपण जे विचारलेले प्रश्न आहेत ते पण सगळे कव्हर करणार आहोत, प्लस आय विल टेक सम ऍडिशनल क्वेश्चन्स. ओके ओके, वी विल स्टॉप हियर नाउ, and in next lecture we'll take MCQs on damped oscillations.
So we have to make the assignment book and tutorial book. Do we have to make?
For what?
Like other subject also, the teacher told us you have to make the assignment book and the tutorial book.
Yeah. You have to make, because it is now CBCS method, so you have to make that. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now we'll stop here.